Hey, Magic Makers, I have this bonus episode for you, and I try to keep my episodes pretty, I'm going to say, un, undated. Like I want my episodes to be timeless. And today I'm going to talk about how to have this guilt-free summer. However, it can translate into, how do I translate this into weekends, long weekends, holidays, vacations? All of the principles I'm about to give you have multiple applications. And I'm bringing this up because I was just emailing with a client during her check-ins. So if you are a member of my Fit Girl Magic Society, I have a level of membership where you can, actually check in with me weekly, and I give you weekly accountability. So I was recently talking with Marie, and she's been a client of mine on and off for years, and she recently came back, and this was her email to me, saying her first check-in back after being away for a bit. And she said, I've fallen off the wagon hard. During COVID, I got into the habit of eating out and exercise. Let's not even talk about it. I'm not even sure where to start. And as I'm reading this, like, how many of you are shaking your head? You're like, girl, that is me. Marie sounds just like my story. And so, she went on to say that, she knows what to do, but she just can't seem to get her shit together. And trust me, I know that feeling well. I'm a professional, and sometimes, like, I can't find my ass with both hands. And so let's break this down. Like, what did I say to her? First, I'm not that cautious, but like, if you can't go hard, then you got to go home. Like, that's not me, because I live in reality. I know we all have real life, real stuff that we are currently dealing with. And I like to eat out. I eat out regularly, and there's no need to stop eating out. However, it's about what choices that we make. And, I had a client recently who was like, I am so surprised that when I go out to dinner, I use that as a license to eat whatever the hell I wanted. And she's like, now I find myself making different choices based on how I feel. And that's exactly what I want you to do. Not every time I go out has to be about downing a bottle of wine and eating every fried thing on the menu. Now, some days you're like, you know what? I'm going to a place that's known for whatever the fried food is. Great, rock on with your bad self. I live in New England. So if you don't have fried clams in the summertime, is it a summer? There are certain things. Am I encouraging you to have fried clams every damn night? No. But I'm saying, you know what? It's okay to have a treat. Now, if your treat goes on for months and months and months, we're going to have a different conversation. But it's okay to give yourself a little bit of a treat. So one of her things is she loves sushi. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with sushi. The beauty about sushi is that if you like, it's the rolls that you choose. So instead of having, rolls, focus on seeing if you have more sashimi. That came out right. Yeah. Sashimi than rolls, and add on a vegetable. Like, I'm addicted to seaweed salad. Add on some vegetables there. And so you have a great protein and vegetable meal. They have plenty of other, unfried foods there. A lot of Asian restaurants, if you go sushi, have a lot of like grilled fish. I'm a sucker for miso salmon. I'm a sucker for miso anything. I love that miso flavoring. Or I make it spicy. Ooh la la. But I digress, right? So that was, I'm like, that is. And then also just check my portions. The biggest thing about restaurants is that depending on where you go, sometimes the portions are the size of your damn head, and sometimes they're not, they're not so much. So I want you to really think about eating until you feel full. Or even if you know that you're going to a place that has a big portion, split it. There's plenty of times that my husband and I will go out to dinner, and it's like, we might get our own appetizer and split an entree, or we might just get a bunch of different appetizers and bring some home. Nothing's better than like getting a bonus meal out of takeout. So as we are going out to a restaurant, that's okay. I love eating out. Like I'm an okay cook, but like there are plenty of times that I just like don't have the energy, the bandwidth. I get home too late to even think about cooking. So the big thing is when I go to a restaurant, the focus on the protein, right? Like a focus on like what is the protein that I'm going to get, and then what do they serve with it so that I can ask for a swap. If there's French fries, can I swap it for a salad? Can I swap it for fruit? Can I swap it for anything other than the French fries? And if I've been there before and I know that the portions are pretty small, then I can ask for, double whatever. Going back to the Asian restaurant, there's a local Asian restaurant here that I order from. And if you order anything shrimp, they have literally 4 shrimp and about 4 million, 4 million vegetables in there, but like 4 shrimp. So I asked for double shrimp. Do I pay more? Yeah. But I'm like, it gives me peace of mind that I'm going to get the extra protein that I want. So ask for that. When I go to a restaurant, ask for anything, broiled, grilled, baked, at the end of the spectrum, sauteed or fried, right? But at the end of the day, that's where we want to try to see if we can go. And always ask nicely. When I was in my, my thick of my crazy and I was competing, I still ate out. And I would go to restaurants that I pretty much knew most of the wait staff. And if I asked nicely, as my husband says, I use the menu as the shopping cart. And I'm like, if I see any ingredient on that menu, I know they have it in the kitchen. And I think it comes from, my days as a waitress. And I pretty much knew we especially to the restaurant, they have fresh food, that they're like making it versus, they're pulling it out of the freezer pre-made and just like cooking it. If I know you have like feta cheese, I'm going to add feta versus whatever cheese that you might have. Or if you don't even have cheese, it could be like, can I put a little feta on that? And for the most part, again, if you ask nicely, they might say, hey, you have to pay extra. Great, awesome. I'm going to get what I want, but I'm going to pay, and I'm going to pay extra for it. But I want you to start thinking in those terms. Like, if I'm nice, you can pretty much get anything you want. Just like you have dressing on the side, you can ask for the sauce on the side. Because sometimes, for me, it's not about calories. It's a little bit about calories, but a lot of it is like sometimes I just drown the food in sauce. And sometimes I just like a little schmear on whatever it is that I'm having. And at the end of the day, we can always do salads. Right. I have a big ass salad every day for lunch, but sometimes I have that salad for lunch and I don't want that for dinner. And so I don't have to have that for dinner. And if you go to a place, a lot of places will have the vegetable of the day. And you could ask, like, can that vegetable, be steamed versus cooked in butter or oil or any of the other kind of like calorie, fat loaded things. And, don't eat till your face falls off. Just eat till you're like 80% full. And just, or if you know that you are going somewhere and the portions are ridiculous, say, hey, can you just leave half in the kitchen, or, bring a doggy bag when you drop off the food, and then you just cut it in half. And again, bonus meal for the next day. If it's lunch, then you have a lunch and a dinner. So hopefully that makes sense, because it's not, like I said, like I'm trying not to give you a lot of rules, but I'm trying to give you like what I like to call, I think I've talked about this before. Just like if we're driving down the highway and we just have lanes, right? Give you kind of like where the lanes are so that you don't feel like you're weaving all over the damn road. And lastly, Maria and I talked about, she said that I know what to do, but I'm just not taking action. And so, she came back and she's like, I need the accountability, right? Because it's easy for her to say tomorrow, next week, next month, when the summer's over, when the kids go back to school. Like, it's easy for all of us to like kind of kick our goals down the road. But that's when you need the accountability partner, a coach like myself, right? Because we help you eliminate the time and the effort that you're spending on actions that don't matter, right? Because it's like, she could be like, oh, I'm just going to do cardio. And I'm going to be like, how does that work out for you? Like, I ask questions, right? I want you to make sure that whatever you choose to do, one, is it going to get you to where you want to go? Two, is it realistic for your life right now? Because, everyone tells me she's got, in her head, she's told me she has to go hard. Well, here's the thing, because Marie's been my client on and off for a while. I know, Marie wants to go back to what she did 5 years ago. She got up, went to the gym, prepped her meals, slept right, did all the things. Now she's got a different job. She's traveling a lot more for her work. So the routine, she hasn't been able to establish routines. Now, what I'm trying to get her to do is like stop thinking that she has to go back to the Marie of old, because guess what? Unless you plan on getting that kind of job again, that is a pipe dream. We're not going to be able to go back to that. So what we need to start doing is embracing what we have and starting to get an understanding of what can you do right now, right? And so many women I see get stuck like, oh, 5 years ago, I was able to do blah, blah, blah. Yeah, me too. 5 years ago, I went to the gym two hours a day. If you ask me to go to the gym 2 hours a day, at least 6 days a week, there better be some money on the line. And I'm talking like big money, like, I don't know, but a lot of money. Like there would have to be a strong reason, because I don't want to do that anymore. And I, as I said, it's not realistic for me anymore. I am not excited at all to get that done. And so maybe I could stop for 30 days to do that. But at some point, I would be like, yeah, I'm out. And I would tap and I would move on and be like, see, I can't stick to anything because I'm trying to stick to something that sucks. I'm trying to get stick to something that I'm not excited about. And so I'm trying to work with Maria. I'm like, let's start to figure out what's realistic for you in your schedule right now. So maybe it's not 5 days a week going to the gym. So be it. What can you give me? And really like look at my schedule. And I was talking about this, and maybe it's something that a workshop that I will do later this fall, is to like really sit down with you and help you figure out your time. Because I think so many of us get so frustrated with ourselves because we don't manage our time. We let our time manage us, and that sucks. And trust me, that was my life. I used to just like feel like I was chasing and chasing and chasing my calendar versus being like, ooh, again, what's realistic? What am I excited about? What is freaking sustainable? Like at the end of the day, what is sustainable versus insanable, right? And I was in the insanable schedule. And so I want us to kind of pull back and say, can I stop being in that like freaking like cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, insanable cycle? So as a coach, right, I work with you to say, let's start eliminating the things and the time and effort things that just don't make sense, that don't add up towards your big goal, or the things that you think are important that may or may not be important. So we really want to like hone into like, what are your daily actions? And then being accountable to someone helps you to take ownership of your life, right? You can't kick it down the line because on my check-in day Sunday. On Sundays, you need to tell someone, this is what you did. And you're less likely to blow it because somebody's going to check in with you. And, I have clients that I've had for years, and they know if I don't hear from you, like in at least a month, I'm like, hey girl, hey, where you been? What's going on? And I'll admit it, like some people get back to me like, you know what, Kim, you're like, I'm good. I love when you just check in on me. Great. And other people are like, girl, where do I begin? So I always want people to know that I'm always thinking about them, but I understand you have a life, and maybe you're just doing you, and you just know that I'm like insurance, like AAA. You only call me when you got a flat tire, and you're just doing you. And other people are like, you know what? I need to pull into the gas station, and I always need to wipe my tires. I always need someone to help me to check my tire pressure, right? No matter what spectrum you are, that's where I am for my clients, right? They always know that I'm just an email away. I'm just a Facebook message away from them. And as a coach, like my goal is to give you confidence that you are moving in the right direction, that the things that you are doing, the step-by-step actions, are the things that are going to actually really move the dial. So as I, wrapped up my email to her, I recommended that she was like, I don't know if I can like hop fully in. I was like, you know what? Why don't we start with what I'm doing right now is called the Stress-Free Summer. And it's a 66-day full accountability. And for her, it didn't feel as overwhelming as like, oh my God, I have to check in with you every week. You still have to check in with me every week, but it's not as detailed. That's what I'm looking for. It's not as detailed. and you pick your own pace, right? I have 3 levels you choose. You have 5 different actions that you do either on a daily or weekly basis based on the pace that you chose. And every week, you submit what you did, and it's a yes or no answer, right? So it's very simple. It's very easy. And we do it for 66 days. We do it for 66 days because many people think it takes 21 days to create a habit. Well, research has shown that it really takes 66 days to really start building the foundational steps, the foundational structures to create a habit. And, this way, while she's doing especially summer, it's a way for her to kind of see the progress as she's checking off the boxes. Because who doesn't like to check off a damn box? You're physically checking off the boxes of like, am I doing the work? And it's a way for her to help fast track her habits. And so a way for me to still, have me, hold on to the back of her training wheels as she's trying to ride this 2-wheeler without her feeling all the pressure of having to be perfect. So if this is something that you're looking to do, this is literally starting right now. So the link is below here. Somewhere around here, you will find that link. Grab it, or you can always reach out to me. I am at hello@kimbarnesjefferson.com. You can always find me on the socials. All right, Magic Makers, that's all I got for you on this bonus episode today. Enjoy the rest of your fabulous Friday.